Hello, everyone. This lesson will be much easier than the previous one, and perhaps more interesting, simple, and enjoyable. In this lesson, I want to show you the Lodash library. It's a set of a huge number of useful functions for all occasions, so to speak. And today, I propose using two functions from this library. Times is a thing that allows you to do something a specified number of times, and we will use it to generate a large amount of fake content for our ideas. We'll also take a look at the pick function, which lets you select only the necessary elements from an object. Let's apply this. First, let's install it. We install it in the backend. Here's Lodash. And we will also need Lodash types. Let's wait for the installation. And Lodash types. Installed? Good. Let's import it. It's Lodash accepted. It's literally an underscore, so that's what we usually call it. Okay, imported it. And now we need to generate this array. We will generate it. Const equals times 100. So 100 times we call this function, and it will be passed the argument I. The argument I will be something from 0 to 99. Good. And we will ask this function to return an object. So this kind of notation, which you might have seen in the previous lesson, is equivalent now, for example, to the following notation, equivalent to writing it this way. This is the same as writing it like this. These two lines are absolutely identical now. It's just shorter. And that's the one we'll use. Fine. Let's move on. And now we need these properties of ours. Okay, let's go. And just insert them. Good. We don't need 100 ideas with the same nickname. We want the number at the end to be based on the index. Insert I. Right? Idea, accordingly, is also I. Yes, and by the way, when you use these types of backticks, you can insert variables into strings like this. In these quotes, you can't do it like that. You would have to do it this way. But it's less elegant. So we will use that syntax. Okay? Let's change the quotes. And in the description, we also need to add this number. All right. Now, we ended up with the same result in practice, but the idea is from 0 to 99 instead of from 1 to 5. Let's see how this affected our application. Go to the main page, and we can see that we indeed now have 99 ideas. That's great. And in this regard, everything works too. Well, we didn't change anything there. Good. Okay. Well, since we're at it, let's also add a text to the idea, which will be later entered on the ideas page itself. And let the text be something like this. It should also be some long text. And we'll write it down like this. So once again, 100 times. But now into variable j, we will store our index. Here. And we will output such text, paragraph text like this, that is j, from an idea like this. And we will combine it. That is, look, what we got, what 100 times means. This means that this thing returned us an array, but we want the text to be just a single string. And so we say that all the variables of this array are unchangeable. We want to combine all elements of this array with an empty string. So let me output this IDs now. Console log IDs. Let's take a look at it. So here is our backend. What do we see here? That this is our text. Well, you saw all these values, but what kind of text? Paragraph 0, idea 99, paragraph 1, idea 99, and so on. But what if there was no join? What would happen then? Then we would have an array in our text, but we want to collapse it. And we say we're collapsing it with an empty string. Look, if we, for example, collapsed it with 1, 2, 3, then we would get something like this. See paragraph, then 1, 2, 3, then paragraph again, and so on. But we need an empty space there, so we preserved it. And now what? Let's apply another Lodash function that allows us to take only the necessary elements of an array. Before, remember, we only output the nickname, name, and description from this root. This is logical because we don't need the full text of all ideas on the main page. They weigh a lot, sort of, and we won't. So let's pass only what's needed to IDs as well. How to do that? We pass the same IDs, but call map on them. Map is a method that iterates over all elements in an array, taking a function and returning something applied to all these elements. Not applied yet, but okay, let me show you now. Showing is easier than explaining. All right? So, map.id. So the function will be called. I will receive each element from the array of IDs in turn, and it should return only the following. That is, pick the following keys from this ID. This is a nickname. This is a name. And this is a description. Okay, and let's call console.log to make this clear. Console.log. All right, let me temporarily. I have this value here up to 3. So, what do we see? What do we see? Look, here. We ended up with the text disappearing. Why did this happen? We iterated over the IDs. For each element in the IDS array, this function was called, into which the idea itself was passed. The idea itself was passed into it. This idea contained all these fields, but we only picked the following from this idea, and returned this as a result of executing this function. Everything that we returned from this function will be applied to the new array. The original ID's array itself will not change, but here, our new array will appear, containing only the keys we need. All right, let's erase this, returning a value, 100. Save it. Double check to ensure nothing is broken. Yes, we have 100 ideas, and that's really good. Thank you. Let's move on.